It's RyceTV!
What up, YouTube? My name is Cheryce. Welcome to RyceTV. Glad that you're here. I am joined by Jeff, the Christian gamer, my husband. We're here to discuss Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So we're going to start off with a non-spoiler review. And tomorrow's episode will have a spoiler review. We're going to try our best to stay non-spoiler for this review. Now, I usually try to keep my husband out of the non-spoiler review because it's really hard for him to stay non-spoilery.
It's not true. I give hints.
Really big hints. So, since you are my guest,
Since we're doing a different movie, can I just say Kylo Ren dies?
Well, if you didn't know already, Kylo Ren dies.
No, they know
But
because they saw the first one.
That has nothing to do with this movie.
See?
So, that keeps it non-spoiler. Awesome sauce. So, Jeff, what did you think of this movie?
I would like to say that, first of all, this is the first, technically the second Star Wars movie that I haven't actually fallen asleep in. The Force Awakens was another exception in that I only got really drowsy. Now, the movies themselves are always wonderful. Their lore is great. Their storylines are usually pretty good. The writing and the actors and the characters, they're all memorable and lovable. It's fantastic, except for that floppy jerk. Anyway,
Aww.
no, he's evil.
Jar Jar Binks.
We don't speak his name.
Jar Jar Binks is awesome.
Anyway, but yeah, focusing on the movie, this was, in my opinion, one of the better written storylines by the writers for this Star Wars universe. They took a lot of time and care and dedication into making sure you understood the motivations of the important characters. They also did a good job with screenplay and just generally keeping you interested in what's going on. I will admit that there were a couple of times in there where it dragged a bit. I found myself trying to look into little details and such to make sure that my attention stayed steadfast.
Oh, yes, because that theater has some comfortable seats.
Oh, my goodness. They got, okay, I don't know if you guys have been to a Cinemark recently, but they got these really nice reclining chairs, and I think they have like vibration or something in them. Anyway, the point is you can recline and lay back, and I
had my coat. I was like, oh, I could just take a nap and I could get back into the movie.
Pretty much. Like, yeah, it was that crucial, y'all.
I mean, it did drag a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. Just enough for you to say, this reminds me of a real Star Wars movie where you actually feel like just taking a nap. And during that one time that you take a nap, you didn't really miss anything, any plot points. That's exactly what this did. So this was a true Star Wars movie in that sense.
Oh, speaking of true Star Wars movie, they did quite a bit of they did a bunch of little things in there that made you think, this is a Star Wars movie. Little obligatory sprinkles of Star Wars lore and characters, and it was really one of those movies that made me remember why Star Wars was a good franchise.
Right, because when you saw those Star Wars characters, you were like, I know you! I know what you're about to do! Yes!
Exactly.
But there were some cameos that I was like, I really didn't need that. I didn't. But we'll talk more about that in the next episode.
Another interesting aspect that I enjoyed about the movie is the fact that they kept a lot of the original sounds and a lot of the original feel of the Star Wars movies, specifically with the X-Wings and other ships that appeared in the movie. I felt that they they did a good job of invoking that nostalgia feeling. And I think that's a lot of what this movie was about. Was The Force Awakens, they tried to do a lot of distinct and hardcore departure from the Star Wars series because they figured that that's what the newer generation needed, and then a lot of people didn't necessarily appreciate that as much as they could have, and so they said, you know what, let's go ahead and get back to the Star Wars we remember because this is what people came for, and so I appreciated that a lot.
Yeah, and this Star Wars was really cutthroat, just like The Force Awakens. It was Kylo Ren still with the mask, cutthroat. It was amazing. And because you're dealing with characters that you haven't seen in the original Star Wars series, it's like you have no idea what their fate is. I mean, you have your theories, and oh my goodness, I was so hoping for Matt Pat's theory to come true, because it just seemed like it should have. Everything that he mentioned in his video about the Knights of Ren was, okay, I buy that. And then this movie happened.
Yeah.
And
much.
That theory, just like a good amount of the cities in this
the number
movie.
Of places destroyed in this movie it was pretty bad. It's like getting a feel for the power of the Empire and them trying to convey that message. There were a lot of people that got blown up. And it was like, okay.
Yeah. Wow. Just wow.
It's like, was that really necessary? Okay, apparently it was necessary. All right.
Yeah. Apparently it was necessary, and the trailers have already shown. What's his name? The guy who preceded Kylo Ren. Oh my goodness. Lord Vader.
Okay.
Darth Vader.
Mercy.
I know.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Brain fart. Please excuse me. But just to have him back and voiced by James Earl Jones. That just made my day. That made the whole movie. The movie could have had a million mistakes, and I would have been like, James Earl Jones is back. I don't care. I really don't.
Yo, I don't know if anybody else felt the same way as me, but when I went into that movie theater and I sat down and we were watching this movie and it was progressing and it was leading up to seeing Lord Vader, I'm like, oh, and then I see him and I'm like, okay. My whole train of thought just stopped. I was like, now, if this is not James Earl Jones, I am walking out of this theater. And when it was, I was like, oh, okay, we're good.
Now, I want to have you know that my husband doesn't watch any trailers, and he doesn't get or read up on any of the movie news. He's more so on gaming news and gaming trailers. So
this is
when you hear all of
the movie spoiled, just saying. When
you hear all of this, and this is just information I already knew before entering the movie, or you probably knew before entering the movie. That's why you're probably like, but you know, the news said it.
He doesn't know. I literally
he's a clean slate before entering the movie.
Exactly.
Let's see. Is there anything else to talk about that is good?
Let me see. That's not spoilery? No.
That's honestly not spoilery. There's this really, really, really huge plot hole in this movie.
Gaping chasm. It threatened. It was okay. It was a black hole of plot holes, and I was expecting it to suck the entire movie into it, but surprisingly,
it didn't. It really didn't. It was like it held
up
pretty well, but it's still that lingering thought of that plot hole that we are going to talk about in the spoiler review because it is that huge.
Okay, to be
And
fair, there's a lot of little ones, but this one was like movie destroying premise. Yeah.
I mean, it happens in the third act, and it's like, huh. So, I have a pen, and I have an apple. No apple pen? What?
Just no. That's it.
Just no. So, with that being said, no spoilers.
No spoilers.
Each character, as he said, was pretty easy to follow. It was hard for me to actually get into the characters until other no, I'm getting into spoiler.
I'm about to say, you're about to cross that line.
I'm about to cross that line. So, before I cross that line, I will catch you later. Bye-bye.